Mahatma Gandhi, father of nation India. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi on October 2, 1869 in Porbandar, Gujarat into a relatively affluent Hindu Modh Banya family. Young Mohandas, influenced by a friend, developed a craving for chocolates. To buy them, he started secretly taking small coins from his elder brother's pocket. The thrill of the forbidden treat, however, was quickly overshadowed by a growing sense of guilt. Unable to bear the burden of his deception, he decided to confess. He wrote a heartfelt note to his ailing father, admitting his theft, expressing deep remorse, and promising never to repeat the mistake. When his father read the confession, instead of scolding him, he simply shed silent tears that fell onto the paper. This act of quiet forgiveness deeply moved young Mohandas, teaching him the powerful lesson of truth and the redemptive nature of honesty, shaping his character for life. He traveled to London to study law at the Inner Temple 1888 to 1891, returning to India as a barrister. Initially, Gandhi found it very difficult to adjust to English customs, food, and social etiquette. Despite his struggles, he diligently pursued his legal studies. This period gave him an intimate understanding of British law, its principles, and its limitations, which proved invaluable in his later struggles against colonial rule in both South Africa and India. He observed how British justice, though theoretically fair, could be applied unequally. After returning to India from his legal studies in London in 1891, Gandhi tried to establish a law practice in Bombay, now Mumbai, a Rajkot. However, he found it challenging. Lured by the prospect of a new professional challenge and the chance to earn a decent living, Gandhi left India in April 1893, sailing for South Africa. He was then 23 years old. During his stay in Africa, while traveling by first class train carriage, a white passenger objected to his presence. Despite having a valid ticket, Gandhi, an Indian lawyer, was ordered to move to the third class compartment. When he refused, he was forcibly ejected from the train at Pietermaritzburg station. This humiliating experience of racial discrimination deeply affected him and became a turning point. While living in South Africa for 21 years, Gandhi established two experimental communities, Phoenix Settlement 1904 and Tolstoy Farm 1910. These were not just communes but laboratories for his philosophy. Residents lived simple, self sufficient lives, practiced manual labor, shared resources, and adhered to principles of non-violence, truth, and equality. It was here that he developed and refined his ideas of Satyagraha, communal living, and the importance of self discipline and austerity. He founded Natal Indian Congress 1894, Indian Opinion 1903 to unite the diverse Indian communities in South Africa and to articulate their grievances and demands to the authorities. By the early 1910s, Gandhi had largely accomplished his primary mission in South Africa. After years of relentless struggle, negotiations with General John Smuts led to significant reforms, including the Indian Relief Act of 1914. This act abolished the annual £3 poll tax on indentured laborers, legalized Indian marriages, and provided some relief from other discriminatory laws. While not all injustices were fully removed, a major victory had been achieved. Gandhi had always seen his work in South Africa as a preparatory ground for his eventual service to India. His political mentor, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, a prominent leader of the Indian National Congress, had visited South Africa in 1912. Gokhale urged Gandhi to return to India. He went to Champaran in Bihar to investigate the grievances of indigo farmers who were forced by British planters to grow indigo and sell it at a low price. The authorities ordered him to leave, but he refused, stating his intention to help the poor farmers. His peaceful defiance and readiness to face imprisonment garnered widespread support. The government, unable to cope with the non-violent resistance, eventually backed down, dropped the case against him, and appointed an inquiry committee, which ultimately led to reforms and the abolition of the exploitative indigo system. The non-cooperation movement 1920 to 1922 was one of the most significant and widespread campaigns launched by Mahatma Gandhi and the Indian National Congress against British rule. It marked a new phase in the Indian independence struggle, shifting from constitutional agitation to mass civil disobedience. Indians who had received titles, awards, or honorary positions from the British government were urged to surrender them. Nationalists refused to participate in elections for legislative councils, denying them legitimacy. A massive emphasis was placed on boycotting British made goods, particularly cloth. The British salt tax hit the poorest Indians hardest as salt was a basic necessity. Gandhi declared that he would defy the law of making salt from seawater. He began a 240-mile march from his ashram in Ahmedabad to the coastal village of Dundee with a small group of followers. Upon reaching Dundee, he picked up a lump of natural salt, symbolically breaking the law. This simple act inspired millions across India, demonstrating the power of collective nonviolent action and severely eroding the moral authority of the British Empire. The Quit India movement, also known as the August movement, was a pivotal and final push launched by Mahatma Gandhi and the Indian National Congress in August 1942, demanding an immediate end to British rule in India. On August 8, 1942, at the All India Congress Committee session in Bombay, Gandhi delivered his famous Do or Die speech. He urged Indians to act as if they were free and to resist British rule non violently. He said, "We shall either free India or die in the attempt. We shall not live to see the perpetuation of our slavery." The British government convened First Roundtable Conference 1930 to 31 to discuss future constitutional reforms in India. However, it was largely unsuccessful because the Indian National Congress, the largest political party, boycotted it. To ensure Congress participation in the second conference, Viceroy Lord Irwin negotiated with Gandhi. This pact led to the suspension of the civil disobedience movement, the release of political prisoners, and Gandhi's agreement to attend the Second Roundtable Conference. The partition of India in 1947 was a complex and tragic event, resulting in the division of British India into two independent dominion states, India and Pakistan. It was a culmination of various political, social, and religious factors exacerbated by the impending withdrawal of British power. British colonial policies often fostered divisions between religious communities to consolidate their power. Attempts to form an interim government in Shimla Conference 1945 with equal representation for Hindus and Muslims failed, largely due to Jinnah's insistence that only the Muslim League could represent Muslims. During the tumultuous period of India's partition, communal violence erupted between Hindus and Muslims. Gandhi, deeply distressed by the bloodshed, often resorted to fasts as a means of atonement and to appeal to the conscience of the people. In Calcutta in 1947, when riots broke out, he undertook a fast unto death, declaring he would only break it when peace was restored. His fast had a profound effect. Both Hindu and Muslim leaders pledged to end the violence, and peace was miraculously restored in the city, an event Mountbatten called a one-man boundary force. While the nation celebrated, Gandhi himself was not in Delhi, nor was he participating in any festivities, reflecting his actions and sentiment at the time, which was focused on communal peace rather than celebration. For more inspirational stories, visit www.toddlersbook.com.